Hello, buddy. My name is Vivu, and today I'm in the beautiful Polo Park that is home to the Worcester Red Sox. I'm here with John Canavan, and he's one of the head people that runs the production team here and helps handle the broadcasting side of things for the Worcester Red Sox. I'm here to interview him about the past baseball seasons that just went by, the production team and his role in it, and what to expect from the production team in upcoming baseball season that's going to start in March of next year. So let's begin. Hey, John, how you doing?
Yeah, great to see you again.
I'm good. I'm here with one of the veterans of the production team, Dave, and basically I'm interviewing him about his role here in the production team and the overall baseball experience. So let's begin. Hey Dave, how you doing today?
Pretty good.
I'm here with the other person that's head of the production team, Brendan, and he, again, is the one that helps run everything for the broadcasting side of things for the Worcester Red Sox. I'm here to interview him about the past baseball season that just went by, the production team, his role in it, and also what to expect from the production team in the upcoming season that's going to happen in March or April of next year. So let's begin. Hey, but how you doing today?
Good. Yeah, thanks for talking.
No problem. Before we get into like the main questions about the production team and everything, can you give me like a brief summary about the Woo Sox and like their history and like how they were first formed?
Yeah, sure. So the Woo Sox we just finished our third season here in Worcester. They started obviously in Pawtucket back in this. I can't remember the actual year. I should know the actual year that they started. But the AAA affiliate of Boston Red Sox, they got approval to move to Worcester back in 2018, and it was announced that they were coming to Worcester on September 17th, 2018. Big Grand and Glory celebration out in Worcester Town Hall, and then 2021 had our first inaugural season. This is, like I said, finished up our third season, and we've been getting fans from all over to come. It's been great. I think we're the only team in the past 3 seasons to have 500,000 tickets sold, all 3 seasons. So it's been a great experience, great team to work with, and being a Worcester County native myself, it's great to have Boston Red Sox baseball, like future stars, being played 20 minutes away from your house.
Yeah, so the Worcester Red Sox, we just finished up our third season. So in 2018 is when they officially announced that they were moving from Pawtucket to Worcester, and Worcester was going to be their new location. And then, groundbreaking was not too long after here for Polar Park to start building, but the first official season was the 2021 season here at Polar Park for the Worcester Red Sox. So they're a pretty new franchise, but they come from a bunch of, there's a lot of history with the Pawtucket Red Sox, and since they were there since, I believe, at least McCoy Stadium was there since the late 40s, and the Boss Sox were there from I believe the mid-70s all the way up to 2020. So
to get into the production questions now, what is your job position here?
So my job is the director of Woo Sox Productions. So basically me and my colleague Brendan Black, we run all the stuff that goes on the video boards throughout the park for ballpark entertainment, and also what goes on on the television broadcast to NESN or NESN Plus for all 75 games of the season, all 75 home games. We will run different graphics, different camera shots, different replays through both throughout the park on the boards, throughout our ones TV within New England that can watch it.
My job position here is a range of things. My title is production assistant, but on top of that, on game days where I help with rosters and I do scorekeeping and other positions like technical director and stuff, I also produce, edit, and a co-host on the podcast with Brendan Black, one of the managers of the production department. And then I also am an event liaison. So basically I help out John and Brendan with different events that are non-Woo Sox games, like the EBW Classic, the Punch Out at Polar Park, the Cape Cod Classic, the different high school baseball games we have here. I kind of essentially run those events from the control room, and John and Brendan do the Woo Sox games and all the other larger scale, big picture things.
So I'm the manager of Ballpark Entertainment. So I direct our in-game presentation. So anything you see and hear in the ballpark, that is, I'm I'm directing that show from up in our control room. And then I'm also responsible for making the look and the feel of the park for every single night. Anytime we have like a theme night or those type of things, I'm recreating the look of the park, whether that's just different video board graphics and that kind of stuff. And then I also create a lot of our commercials and for radio and for TV, and then I make a bunch of our different just content pieces, video pieces.
And why did you decide to take on this position?
So I was at ESPN for about 8 years doing graphics down there, and ESPN was a great job that I had. It's also kind of far away from me because I still live in Massachusetts, and it was a commute. When I saw that this job was available, I decided to apply just because I had gone as a fan to probably 5 or 6 games a season, like as a fan, because it was awesome to be. I love baseball. I love having saying that my work office is a baseball park. It's great to come in every day and see this new, very modern but also historic feel of Fulton Park.
Well, I decided to because essentially this place has always just been home for me. I grew up in Rhode Island. I was about 20 minutes away from McCoy Stadium. I'd gone to Paw Sox games my entire life. And then when I was 16 is when I started at McCoy as a merchandise game day assistant, which is a fancy word for cashier. And did that in 2017 to 2019. Did all 3 of my college internships with the team, stuck with them through the move to Worcester. Got switched over to the productions department because my major was a digital media major at Endicott College. And yeah, I've been here now 6.5 years. I got 6 seasons under my belt, and we're coming up on season 7.
So when I graduated from college, I graduated from University of New Hampshire in 2015, and I immediately went into a sales job. That was a job that paid the bills. I was there for about 3 years, and then I moved on to another job that was not anything that I was passionate about, and I always kind of kept the dream of working in productions, whether that be sports productions or any other kind of productions. I always kind of kept that dream alive and always did stuff on the side. I had a little bit of a side business, but until the Worcester Red Sox came, they started their first season, I found out they were having a job fair, an online job fair, still during kind of COVID times then. So I made sure I was first one in line, first one there, first one to do the interview, and I was hired as broadcast videographer for the first season. And then once I got here and saw everything that this place had to offer, whether that is just all of our video equipment, but also just more of the opportunities that this place gives you, and I fell in love with working here, and told myself that I was going to make this my full-time position. I came back for 2022, took on some more responsibilities, directing the in-game show and producing and making a lot more of the content. And then prior to the 2023 season started, I was hired as the manager of ballpark entertainment, brought on full-time. So it was a long ride. I mean, I'm 30, and so I've been with the Woo Sox for 3 years, but it took me a while to get to this spot.
And since you are the head or the director or one of them of the production team for this sports team, what specific skills or qualities or training do you think a person needs to get in order to do your role or another role in the production team for a sports team?
So people that we hired this year, some of them had a pretty extensive background in productions, whether that be graphics or camera work. Some people didn't, and they were just looking for a job to get, but definitely learned very quickly on how I wanted to run the department. We had a bunch of great people here, and I think the big thing was having a good attitude coming into the game. Want people to be able to work with one another, have good chemistry, and I think that worked very well throughout the season. When I interviewed a bunch of people, yourself included, I told you that there's going to be games when we're at the end of a homestand and it's 100 degrees outside and we're losing a lot, but have that still a can-do attitude. And that game actually happened this year. I remember August 20th was game 12-12, and it was 90 degrees out, and we ended up losing by 10 runs. So I'm like, this is exactly the game I was telling you guys about. So my prophecy came true when I was doing it. But like I said, to get into this industry, really get involved in as many things as you can, not necessarily just television production or sports production. Find things that make you feel comfortable, find things that help you work well with others, find things that you can get your name out there, because it's great when you have knowledge with productions, but when people look at resumes and they see a bunch of different qualities and characteristics that make up this role, I think they are really interested in seeing what you can do.
Versatility and being able to say yes to things. I know a lot of times, especially in productions and working in sports in general, it's easy to feel worn down from the long hours to, especially working in baseball, you know, you have 70 plus home games a season. Other sports like football, you have 8. And, you know, basketball, you may have like 40 or something. You have 70 plus home games, and you're doing that also 6 days in a row when you have a homestand in AAA.
Yeah.
I mean, the grind can be a lot, but it's also reminding yourself why you're doing this, because we're not doing this for ourselves. We're doing this for all the fans. And as someone who grew up in Rhode Island and watched the team as a young kid, it's easy for me to imagine myself when I was younger down there in the seating bowl and, you know, enjoying all the show, essentially, from the music to the PA to what's going on the boards, all the fancy stuff that goes around. So versatility in knowing the different operations in the room and being able to say yes, because, you know, it's more than just us.
I think the biggest thing for me, I mean, there's a lot of the technical skills that are necessary. You know, your video editing, your photo editing, and your just ability to produce content, whether that is setting up cameras and setting up microphones and doing all that kind of stuff. So there's a lot of that kind of technical aspect of stuff. The other side of it is you got to be ready to work. You got to be ready to put in a lot of hours. This job is very, very demanding during the season. You know, we have, as you know, we have 6 home games in a homestand, so we'll 6 straight games, Tuesday to Sunday. And so I'm here, you know, Monday to Monday. Like, I'm here the entire time. So those weeks are, you know, I'm pushing 90, 100 hours working here at the week, and so it, you know, that can add up. So I think, one, you got to have the mindset that you know that that's what you're getting into, and then 2, the other side of it is, you know, you got to be able to, like, you know, really, you got to be able to really enjoy what you're doing, because if you're going to be spending 100 hours a week somewhere, you better like it, because you are going to burn out really, really fast, and you even still can burn out really fast, even if you are really enjoying it. But we're lucky that we have an incredible group in our production staff, but then also just in our front office, and it's a bunch of people with a lot of experience, and we're all going through the same thing. So I think that's another thing, is you have to be willing to lean on your co-workers and those type of things, especially during the middle of the season.
Digging deep into the production team, can you give me like can you give me an overview of the overall structure of it and how you decide the roles and responsibilities of each member?
Yeah, so like I said, we run both the in-game broadcast and the television broadcast from our control room. We're I think we might be the only minor league team that has a television broadcast capabilities within the control room of their park. Usually most teams will bring in, if they need to broadcast their game, they'll bring in an outside truck and they'll park in a parking lot or block down the street. Not us. We have everything in the park that we need. So during a game, we'll have, at a minimum, like 25 people at a time working in productions. Maximum, maybe we'll get up to 35, 40 if we have enough hands to have the different production assistants or be shadowing so they can learn for the next game. And the roles that we have include graphics operator, technical director, producer, audio coordinator, ballpark DJ, which is basically audio coordinating as well. Like I said, different cameras that go around, and the things all the different positions. Like I want everyone to essentially learn them, because a lot of the people that are in the department are kids that are still in college or right out of school and looking to get their hands in the professional industry of productions. And I think it's great when they can work on different positions. So if we have enough people, I'll have them shadow graphics if they haven't done it yet. I'll have them shadow camera shading if they haven't done that yet, just so they're able to have the plethora of information that they can bring somewhere else. Maybe there's something else with this. But yes, yeah. The more information that you can get while working here, the better.
Quick overview of the production team, I'd say, is year after year, I'd say it's full of a lot of young adults that are hungry, definitely, to not only put on a good show here, but to improve their skills and be significant in what they do, because, you know, just like the players with their AAA, they want to get to the majors, and, you know, everyone that works here, they want to get to, you know, like the majors, you know what I mean? So just like the players are training on and like honing their skills, you know, us and all the other departments and all the other employees here, we're all doing the same. We're all trying to get ourselves to be the best of our ability and everything like that. So I feel like when it comes to working with one another, there definitely becomes kind of a like shared goal in that not only are we trying to put on this show, we're also trying to help get better and also better each other.
Yeah, so John is our director of WCCA productions, and so then I'm the manager of Ballpark Entertainment, so John and myself. We run the department, and so when we're going through the hiring process, we have our positions and our that we're looking to fill, whether that is you know, from our camera operators to being in the control room, to from technical directors to replay to shading to graphics and all those type of things. So, you know, there's a lot of different positions to fill, but one of the things that I'm pretty proud of John and myself is the fact that you know, when we brought people on, we wanted them to be able to do different things so that we could shift you around, so that there aren't just a singular role that you're brought in. There are some roles that are way more intensive than others. So, you know, a broadcast technical director, we're probably looking for someone who is going to be a broadcast technical director. But so the structure of how it works for us in there is, you know, we have some more senior people that we lean on that have been with us to kind of set the example.
I'm press record. Okay. Ready?
I'm ready to go.
All right. 3, 2, 1. Hello, buddy. My name is Vivu, and today I'm in the beautiful pole park that's home to the Worcester Red Sox. I'm here with the other person that's head of the production team, Brendan, and he, again, is the one that helps run everything for the broadcasting side of things for the Worcester Red Sox. I'm here to interview him about the past baseball season that just went by, the production team, his role in it, and also what to expect from the production team in the upcoming season that's going to happen in March or April next year. So let's begin. Hey, but how you doing today?
Good, good. Yeah, thanks for talking.
No problem, no problem. And before we get into the production questions, can you give me like a brief summary or the history of the Woo Sox and like how they were formed?
Yeah, so the Worcester Red Sox, we just finished up our third season. So in 2018 is when they officially announced that they were moving from Pawtucket to Worcester, and Worcester was going to be their new location. And then, you know, groundbreaking was not.
All these roles and equipment that you just mentioned happen in a place called the control room. Can you basically tell me what it is and how does it make the broadcasting side of things run smoothly?
Yeah, so like I said, the control room has both the television broadcast and the in-game broadcast inside of it. There's different equipment such as the expression machine. We use expression to put out our graphics. We use Ross switchers to cut different cameras. We have usually 7 manned cameras out in the park that we control, that both sides of the broadcast can call upon throughout the game to get different shots of fans or what's actually going on in the game. Obviously, the for the in-game side, we like to get shots of fans. For the television broadcast side, we get shots of what actually is going on during the game to show people that are watching at home. The room itself it's awesome because it's a bunch of different things you can control. A bunch of click of a button, whether you want to control the boards, whether you want to control the audio of the music in the park, and it's just a lot. When people come in, they see all this stuff and they're amazed because it's bigger probably than any and some major league ballparks have. So it's fun. It's kind of overwhelming when you're trying to run everything, make sure everything's up to speed, but it's definitely fun when the game goes smoothly.
Well, control room, for me, in layman's terms, is a bunch of colorful buttons. You have your DJ table with your audio station there. You have your audio engineers. You have your technical director, the director, and everyone's on comms giving out directions, what needs to go on the board when. You have your expression operator that controls the graphics. You have your VSoft operator, which helps for what goes on the board and sending control back to the expression operator in TD, and the technical director, helps put up the graphics from expression, sends control back to VSoft by putting VSoft on the board, puts the replay on the board that gets sent from the replay operator. It's a lot of positions. I'd say on a game day, every single seat is filled, and I think there's about 20 seats in that room, 25, and it's filled every single day, plus our camera operators. So everyone has specialized skills, but in no way, shape, or form is it an individual job.
Park for the Worcester Red Sox. So they're a pretty new franchise, but they come from a bunch of, there's a lot of history with the Pawtucket Red Sox, and since they were there since, I believe, at least McCoy Stadium was there since the late 40s, and the Paw Sox were there from I believe the mid-70s all the way up to 2020. So,
that's good. And now on to the production question. What is your job position here?
So I'm the manager of Ballpark Entertainment. So I direct our in-game presentation. So anything you see and hear in the ballpark, I'm directing that show from up in our control room. And then I'm also responsible for making the look and the feel of the park for every single night. Anytime we have like a theme night or those type of things, I'm recreating the look of the park. Whether that's just different, video board graphics and that kind of stuff. And then I also create a lot of our commercials and for radio and for TV, and then I make a bunch of our different just content pieces, video pieces.
And why did you decide to take on this position?
So when I graduated from college, I graduated from University of New Hampshire in 2015, and I immediately went into a sales job. That was a job that paid the bills. I was there for about 3 years, and then I moved on to another job that was not anything that I was passionate about, and I always kind of kept the dream of working in productions, whether that be sports productions or any other kind of productions. I always kind of kept that dream alive and always did stuff on the side. I had like a little bit of a side business, but until the Worcester Red Sox came, they started their first season, I found out they were having a job fair, an online job fair, still during kind of COVID times then. So I made sure I was the first one in line, first one there, first one to do the interview, and I was hired as broadcast videographer for the first season. And then once I got here and saw everything that this place had to offer, whether that is just all of our video equipment, but also just more of the opportunities that this place gives you, and I fell in love with working here, and told myself that I was going to make this my full-time position. I came back for 2022, took on some more responsibilities, directing the in-game show and producing.
And since you are one of the head people of this team, and you have a lot of jobs to do, you have a lot of roles that you have to take care of, can you give me a brief overview of what your day looks like when it comes to your game day?
Yeah, when it comes to game day, usually most of our first pitches were around 6:45, so I'll get in at 9:30 or 10 in the morning, and at 11 o'clock we'll have our day game meeting with all the front office staff, or anyone that's going to be part of the any of the managers that can be part of the overall view of the game. That'll usually take about a half an hour. We'll go over specific groups that are here, specific big names that may be in the stands, what kind of day it is. Obviously, here in the minor leagues, we like to have a lot of different giveaways and themed nights. And one of the things that I like are town takeovers, which highlight different towns within Massachusetts. And usually all our different pregame ceremonies will include people from those towns. So we'll figure out who's doing the first pitch, who's doing the game balls to the mound, who's the seventh inning singer, who's the God Bless America singer of national anthem. And after that, it's going over different graphics that are needed for the game, different video that's needed. If we have a former Red Sox player here, such as John Valentin, I'll pull up footage of him so we can show to the fans in the park, so we can show from fans on the TV broadcast, be like, oh, remember John Valentin? He was this great shortstop and third baseman for the Red Sox, and here's what he did. So depending on what the day is, I'll find different video, different pictures of what's going on in the park. And then once we're a few hours away from the game, the rest of the production team will start coming in. We'll set up cameras. We'll go through the rundown. We'll go through different tasks that are needed for that day. Kind of give them a mini rundown of what we had learned in the day game meeting. And then once 6:30 hits, we start a show. And hopefully it's a smooth, quick show.
When it comes to game day, what my day looks like depends on, if there's an event in the morning or if we're doing podcasts or something. So, like if it's a podcast day, I'll get in between 9 and 10 a.m. We'll record the podcast, and that'll probably end at about 10:30, 11. And then I'll start editing from about 11 to 3. And then everyone else, all the part-timers and everyone gets in between 3:30 and like 4:15, because call time is about 3:45, 4 o'clock, so everyone gets in around then. And then, I try and get a lot of my work done by the time everyone gets in usually. So then, it's nice always when someone comes in just to be able to say hi and like have a quick brief convo before they go out to their cameras and set up, or they start, going through the checklist on expression and stuff like that. So I leave a little bit, maybe like a half hour at a time, just to kind of converse with people and then get back to my work. And usually I'm on ScorePad sometimes, so I double check the rosters, make sure everyone's in the right uniform number. If I'm missing a name or I'm missing a number, I text or get in contact with one of our broadcasters like Jim Kane, Cooper Boardman, Mike Antonellis, Tyler Murray, Jay Burnham. Don't want to really forget anyone. And Laura Stickles. And just make sure everything is accurate, and that goes for all the other positions in the room, like expression. You're going through a checklist on making sure, okay, I have all the names for the pregame ceremonies that we're doing. I have all the names for the in-game ceremonies, like in Debt to a Vet. I want to make sure I have the right Army rank and everything to put on the graphics. So it's a lot of double-checking things, making sure we have everything all set. And then once about 5 p.m. hits, if it's a night game, you should be all set. And then you go get the pregame meal, and then the game happens. I just work the game, and then afterwards I go into the storage closet over there and wait for everyone to get back with their cameras, and I check all the equipment, make sure everything's all set. And then we have the debrief meeting probably when the game ends at like 10 o'clock or so, and then back at it again the next day.
Entertainment brought on full time, so it was a long ride. I'm 30, and so I've been with the Woo Sox for 3 years, but it took me a while to get to this spot.
And when it comes to your role in the production team, you have a lot of stuff to do, you have a lot of responsibilities. What specific skills or qualities or training do you think someone needs to do or go through in order to work for a production team, or do your role for a production team?
I think the biggest thing for me, there's a lot of the technical skills that are necessary. Your video editing, your photo editing, your just ability to produce content, whether that is setting up cameras and setting up microphones and doing all that kind of stuff. So there's a lot of that kind of technical aspect of stuff. Then the other side of it is you got to be ready to work. You got to be ready to put in a lot of hours. This job is very, very demanding during the season. You know, we have, as you know, we have 6 home games in a homestand, so we'll have 6 straight games, Tuesday to Sunday. And so I'm here, you know, Monday to Monday. Like I'm here the entire time. So those weeks are, you know, I'm pushing 90, 100 hours working here at the week, and so it, you know, that can add up. So I think one, you got to have the mindset that you know that that's what you're getting into. And then 2, the other side of it is, you know, you got to be able to, like, you know, really, you got to be able to really enjoy what you're doing, because if you're going to be spending 100 hours a week somewhere, you better like it, because you are going to burn out really, really fast, and you even still can burn out really fast, even if you are really enjoying it. But we're lucky that we have an incredible group in our production staff, but then also just in our front office, and it's a bunch of people with a lot of experience, and we're all going through the same thing. So I think that's another thing, is you have to be willing to lean on your co-workers and those type of things, especially during the middle of the season.
And diving more deep into the production team, can you give me an overview of the structure of it, and how do you decide the roles and responsibilities of each member?
Yeah, so John is our director of WCCA Productions, and so then I'm the manager of Ballpark Entertainment. So John and myself, we run the department, and so when we're going through the hiring process, we have our positions and our that we're looking to fill, whether that is you know, from our camera operators to being in the control room, to from technical directors to replay to shading to graphics and all those type of things. So, you know, there's a lot of different positions to fill, but one of the things that I'm pretty proud of John and myself is the fact that, you know, when we brought people on, we wanted them to be able to do different things so that we could shift you around, so that there aren't just a singular role that you're brought in. There are some roles that are way more intensive than others. So, you know, a broadcast technical director, we're probably looking for someone who is going to be a broadcast technical director. But so the structure of how it works for us in there is, you know, we have some more senior people that we lean on that have been with us to kind of set the example for anyone who's new, who's coming in. And, you know, that's a you know, a big part of our year over year type of thing is making sure that we can find those people that are going to stick with us. It is, you know, on Friday we'll have fireworks after the game, so there's that a little bit after the fact. But let's say the show just ends on, you know, it's a Tuesday, we don't have anything after the fact. Game ends, we make sure that our broadcast is finished. If we win, there's a little extra that we do in the broadcast. If we lose, we usually go right to our term break and it ends. And then we break down the cameras come back up, they get checked in, make sure everything's okay, make sure that we're ready to go for the next day, the next game, and then we bring the crew into the control room and we break it down, we talk about, you know, the highs and lows of the day, and then, you know, and then any kind of information that we may need for the rest of the week, and then we send everyone home, and hopefully it was a nice quick game.
And with this past season of baseball passing by, how has that season been different to the previous season that you worked here for, or any other experience that you've had in terms of the baseball team itself, the production team, the technology that you were working with? Or anything like that?
Yeah, so this is my first season with the Blue Sox, but I tried to implement different things that I wanted to do from compared to when I saw as a fan. Like when I was a fan here, obviously I didn't know how a game went from the side of productions, but having a productions and graphics background, I would always look around and like, that doesn't look right, or that doesn't, it's not as aesthetically pleasing, or I wish they did this. Like, I shouldn't be able to, I shouldn't have to do that. Like, I want to enjoy a baseball game,
Yeah.
which stinks. But it's just that background that I have of doing that. I worked for the Boston Red Sox for a couple seasons, and they have some different technology there, some of the same technology. So when I came here, it was learning a lot. It was finding out how different programs work, how different workflow works. At the Red Sox, we only cared about the in-game production. NESN had their own truck that they did the TV production from. And then the team itself, it was great. Like, I was interacting with the players often, going out to the field, getting different answers of different vignettes that we're doing, just going down to get different shots of guys that are here. And it was especially fun when rehab players were here, so I got to see Chris Sale, Trevor Story up close, and converse with them a little bit. Adam Duvall, guys that come here. So it's fun when there's a bunch of talk about rehab players coming in, or different or cool prospects coming in. Like when Cedon Rafael came up, there's a lot of buzz about him. He's the number 2 prospect in the organization.
Okay.
And when he had his debut at Bull Park, it was a lot of buzz. Like, oh, it's cool. Like, here comes Cedon. He's this next big thing. And he was. I mean, like, he kind of was, because he had great numbers in minor and AAA. So good that he got called up in the last month of the season, which stinks for us because we lost our best player to the major leagues. The guys, they're 20 minutes to the east. But it was cool for the couple months we did have him. And then next year we'll have guys like, hopefully Marcelo Meyer, who's number 1 prospect, guys like Nick York, who are going to make big impacts for Worcester and hopefully essentially Boston in the next couple years.
I'd say the biggest change was just my role of responsibility. I definitely was able to really tap into more of my potential in controlling different operations in the room, such as like actually, using the switcher, loading stuff into Expression and testing it, and then operating it for a game. I was in the director's chair for a few games, a few Woo Sox games this year, and I directed, the different events we had. Like, I didn't think a year ago I'd be directing the boxing match that we had here and directing that whole in-game show. Like, that was a crazy experience to have. So I'd say definitely not only being given the responsibility, but being able to execute my tasks in a beneficial way, where everyone was pleased with the work that I did, and also being able to have that trust from my managers and people in the front office.
Yeah, so I mean, every season, and fans will know this from coming here for the first season to the second season to the third, stuff is constantly changing. We're constantly improving, because during the season it is very tough to make major changes, at least when it comes to the production side of things, because every kind of like move you make, it affects something else in that control room. So during the season, there usually isn't a ton of technical things that will change for us for the production season, but leading into this one, into 2023, this past season, was the first year that we had an actual organ linked in. Okay. And so that organ had to be linked into our audio network. We have like a pretty extensive audio network that, it's not just as simple as, plugging in the aux cord, giving the aux cord to the organ. But so there is that, and then also we not only do we have the organ synced up into our network, we also have communications to the organ, so that when the organ player's there, I'm on a headset with them, and I'm able to talk to them specifically outside of everyone else to be able to direct them when they can play, and that kind of stuff. So that was like a cool feature that just added a little bit onto our production. And then, as for the team and everything this year, I mean, this has been, this past season was crazy turnover. There were 79 different players for the Worcester Red Sox uniform, which is nuts. So there is that amount of turnover. And then this year, I think one of the really big improvements and really big things. So John came over from ESPN after like 8 years ESPN. He worked at Fenway as well for the Red Sox for a little while. But he was brand new to working here. He had been a fan at games in 2021, 2022. John coming onto this team and leading this team has been incredible for a ton of different reasons. His professionalism when it comes to the actual broadcast and setting it up, and his dedication to all that. has really shown when you watch our broadcasts and you watch, just the information and that kind of stuff that is displayed and gets it. I mean, that part of it is incredible. I mean, you could add 10 more cameras to this place, but it doesn't matter unless you have like the leadership to be able to do it. So like John's leadership has been incredible. I think John and myself, we're thick as thieves. Like we like from day one, we met each other and we hit the ground running. And I think that really added like a huge part to our production staff in general this year, because John and myself, I gave them the rundown of what previous years are like and how much stress of the season has built on people and how that has kind of spilled over into affecting the control room and affecting overall morale. And I think John and myself, I told John from the jump, I was like, hey, people are going to want to work in there this year. They're going to want to walk in that place, and they're going to want to, it's not going to be, silence and everyone gets out. It's going to be a good, warm environment. It's going to be people who want to hang out with each other. It's going to be people like that. And, you probably could say it better than I, but I'm pretty confident we created that environment this year. We cultivated an environment that people want to come back and want to work in. And that part of it, again, we could have a million trainings on the technical, things inside the control room. But if you don't start with that base of a good employee base and a good work environment, it doesn't matter how talented the people are that are working for you. It doesn't matter how much equipment you have, how many, all that kind of stuff. It really, really comes down to the human element. So.
And overall, what can we expect from the production team next season, and what are your expectations for them coming in?
Well, we're already number one in minor leagues. We're number one in all of baseball, and all 120 teams in professional baseball in America. But like I said, just kind of improving on what we have done. Like I said, it was my first season, so I didn't know what to expect on March 31st of 2023, which is our opening day. I didn't know how the game was going to go. I didn't know what problems we were going to run into. But now that I have a full season under my belt, I know, and I have months to prepare for next season, I know what I want to prep. I know what I want things to look like next season. I know what we can prepare for. I know what we can't prepare for, but essentially we'll be able to figure it out. So yeah, I think just a lot of different new things from productions, new things from the park itself, new food items, new fan experience, new seats. It's going to be a lot. Every year is going to be something different.
I'd say what my expectations are is I can't wait to try and become more of a producing type role, increase my role of responsibility that I built upon the last year and a half here, and be more of someone that people can come to, whether it be an issue with productions or not, or someone just needs to talk. Just be more of a point person for people, because no matter where you work, no matter what kind of employment it is, everyone always needs someone to talk to. So I'd say just more being available for my coworkers, because if everyone works together and everyone's on the same page and everyone is coming to work with a good feeling, even if you may have not had a good day, if you at least having a good time at work, that can always mean the difference. So I'd say that.
Yeah, I just think every year that we're able to build upon what we've done from the previous year, that's what I expect. I expect the overall production of things to be better. I think we're going to rework the pregame show a little bit, like pregame ceremonies on the field, to make it a little bit more, to make it flow a little bit better, to make it more of a digestible kind of product, and then also to be able to turn around and give that ceremony to the people who were in it, so that we're able to kind of create little shows and little moments throughout the season. And so that's one thing that we really want to do. And another aspect is, from my side of things, that ballpark entertainment side of things, I really, really want to improve upon all the different aspects, and that starts with reorganizing parts of the control room and parts of the DJ system and that kind of stuff. And just really setting ourselves up for success next year, so that maybe on the surface it doesn't look entirely different, but from behind the scenes it runs smoother and we have a better handle of things like that. So there's some things like that, and then I'm hoping that we might have an on-field PA announcer for promotion and that kind of stuff. So there's all little aspects of it that we're trying to improve, and that this is what the off season is for, is to be able to have this look. But we're going to blink and it's going to be March, and we're going to be only weeks away.
And last final question. Where can we go to keep up to date with the Woo Sox, either like social media or email? And also, where can we contact you in terms of business inquiries or job opportunities?
Yeah, so we're on all different types of social media. You can follow the Worcester Red Sox. It's not Worcester Woo Sox or whatever it might be. Worcester Red Sox is what we are on most things, or just Woo Sox, not Worcester Woo Sox. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, but YouTube. Trying to get our social media definitely revamped to have a lot of different good content on there. Follow our Spanish pages as well. We have started a Spanish broadcast this year, so we have Worcester Baseball or Worcester Red Sox Baseball that translates most everything that we have on our English pages to Spanish, and then go to WooSox.com for a bunch of different stories that are going on within the season and the off season. Because even in the off season, our writers and our newsroom people are pushing out stories of things that either are happening now, happening after the season. One of my favorite stories this year is that we broke the record for most Red Sox AAA home runs in a season. We had 215, and the 210th home run was hit by Narciso Crook, one of our great outgoing players, and he got to meet up with this girl who I think she was 8 years old, who got the ball. And it was cool. He signed it for her. He got a little meet and greet beforehand. It was just a great story. And you can read about that story on WooSox.com. That, along with a bunch of other different things that are going on around the park and the community, Worcester, the Canal District, and everything.
You can go to WooSox.com. We have all of our information on there. You can go on Twitter. I believe it's @GoWooSox or just @WooSox. I think Twitter's @WooSox. Our Instagram is @GoWooSox. And then we have our podcast Instagram @WooSox Insider. With the podcast, you can stay up to date with everything. We're trying to do bi-weekly uploads right now. You can stay up to date through, I know we have a newsletter. We have a Facebook group. I believe it's called Woo Sox Nation. We have all sorts of stuff. So, I mean, if you want to be involved, you want to be up to date on different, not only Woo Sox games, but events that we host here that are open up to the public and different things that we do. There's multiple avenues to stay up to date on things.
All right, that's it. Thank you, John. Appreciate it. Thank you, Dave. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem.
Thanks for the help.
100%.
All right. Thank you, Ben.
Yeah,
Appreciate it.
Of course.
Thanks for your help.
Awesome.